All right, brains warmed up. We're going deep today. Ethereum Whitepaper time. The one Vitalik Buterin wrote back in 2014.
This is it, yeah. The blueprint.
Not just some, old document. This thing basically kicked off a whole new internet. Decentralized world. All these apps that could, well, change everything.
And the crazy thing is, so much of what he laid out back then, it's happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I look around.
DeFi, NFTs, DAOs.
Not buzzwords anymore.
Nope, real world stuff built on what's in this paper.
So this deep dive,
Yeah.
it's like time travel. Back to the start. And trust me,
Yeah.
it gets pretty wild. But before we go full techie nerd on it,
Gotta have the context.
yeah, like what was even going on with blockchain back in 2014?
Well, 2014, just 5 years post-Bitcoin white paper, blockchain itself was brand new.
Okay, so still early days.
Most folks. Bitcoin was just like digital cash
Yeah.
for anonymous stuff online.
Right.
Buterin, though, he saw the bigger picture.
Beyond just the money part.
Totally. He got that the real deal wasn't the currency, but the tech behind it. Blockchain.
Okay, so remind me again how that whole proof of work thing actually works.
Imagine a huge global puzzle. Anyone can try solving it. Takes tons of computer power. Whoever gets it first adds a block of transactions to the chain.
And gets the reward.
Some shiny new crypto, yep.
So, like competitive bookkeeping. Winner takes all, but that's what makes it secure.
Think about it. To mess with the blockchain, you gotta redo all the puzzles since the block you want to change.
With everyone competing.
Thousands of miners going at it. One person or even a group taking control. Basically impossible.
Okay, yeah, that's making sense. But Buterin saw the power of this.
Mm.
But also, like, it wasn't perfect, right? Bitcoin, I mean.
Spot on. He was like, this scripting language, how you program stuff on Bitcoin's blockchain, it's too limited.
Good for the basic sending and receiving money.
But for the complex stuff he had in mind, nowhere near enough.
He wanted a blockchain that could do way more.
Oh, yeah. He's talking about a platform. Developers could build anything they can dream up, all on a network that's decentralized, secure.
This is where it starts getting really juicy. But before we jump into the how of Ethereum,
The nitty-gritty.
yeah, a big picture overview of this white paper. What's even in it? What are the sections?
Good call. Think of it like the blueprint's got these different sections, right? First, he lays out the problem, Bitcoin's limits, why we need a better blockchain.
Okay, so before picture.
Then, here's Ethereum, the solution, all about how it's built, the core stuff.
Before and after, I like it.
Then he goes full tech mode. Accounts, transactions, this thing called gas to stop people abusing the system.
Oh yeah, gas. I remember that from like intro stuff.
We'll dig into that later, but basically, it's how you pay for the computing power that runs these apps on Ethereum.
Okay, interesting. So he lays the tech foundation. What else?
Whole section on what you can do with Ethereum. This is where it gets mind-blowing.
Yeah.
He's talking a future where these decentralized apps, they change everything. Finance, how we govern, even just storing data.
Not just describing it. He's like, here's how this could change the world.
100%. He's talking token systems, decentralized organizations, even this thing, decentralized file storage, which in 2014, super futuristic.
Hold on. So like Dropbox, but no Dropbox.
Exactly. Your files not on some company server, but spread across tons of computers, all managed by the blockchain.
Sounds like sci-fi almost.
Then there's DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations.
Code running organizations. What does that even mean?
Think, a company, no CEO, no board, just rules written in code, smart contract, making decisions automatically based on what's programmed in.
Okay, yeah, this is way bigger than just tech stuff now.
Totally reshaping how society could work, more decentralized. And then he wraps it up by saying, hey, there are challenges, scalability, potential security risks.
Right, gotta be realistic.
But even back then, he's already thinking about the solutions, how Ethereum can get better over time.
Love that. Okay, so we've got the blueprint. Time to start building. Where do we even begin?
Let's unpack that problem Buterin was tackling. Bitcoin's scripting language, he said it had limits. What were they? Why'd he care so much?
Okay, yeah, let's get into that. But first, scripting language, like
Yeah.
ELI5, what is that? My computer speak is rusty.
Sure. It's basically how you give instructions to a computer program.
Okay.
So with Bitcoin, this scripting language, it's how you set the rules for when a transaction happens.
Like the rule book for moving Bitcoin around.
Exactly. Say you want multiple people to approve a payment. Multi-signature transaction. That's the scripting language.
Makes sense. But this wasn't enough for Buterin.
He saw blockchain doing way more than simple stuff. He wanted apps that talk to each other, react to the world outside, even change over time. Bitcoin's language. Too basic.
Give me an example. What couldn't it do?
Say you're building a marketplace, totally decentralized, people buying and selling stuff with crypto. You'd need a way to automatically hold the money until the goods arrive. Handle disputes, too. Bitcoin couldn't do that.
So, like, trying to build a skyscraper with just bricks. Basic structure, maybe, but nothing fancy.
Perfect analogy. Buterin realized to unlock what blockchain can really do, you need a way better scripting language.
Enter Ethereum.
Right, Ethereum's got a whole new language, and it's Turing complete.
You've said that word a few times. What's it actually mean?
Okay, so imagine a remote control. Works on any device in your house. TV, thermostat, coffee maker.
Universal remote.
Turing complete is like that, but for programming, you can basically program anything with it, solve any problem a computer can handle.
Ethereum's scripting language is like the universal remote for blockchain. Do anything you can code.
That's the idea. Opens up tons of possibilities for building these decentralized apps.
Okay, this is getting cool, but also my head's spinning a bit. All this scripting talk. Can we take a breather? How does Ethereum actually work, like practically?
Sure. Let's start with the building blocks, the stuff that makes it different from Bitcoin. Big one, accounts.
Okay, accounts like where I keep my ether, like a bank account.
Kinda, yeah, it holds your ether, but it's more than that.
Or how?
Ethereum account, it can hold data, too. And even code.
Wait, the code that makes up an app, you mean?
That's where smart contracts come in. Basically, code that lives on the blockchain. It can run agreements automatically based on rules you set.
Whoa, hold on. So instead of lawyers and contracts, I just write it in code and the blockchain makes it happen.
That's the goal. And since it's all decentralized, no middleman needed, all automatic, open for everyone to see, and secure.
Feels like we're in the future already. But how do these smart contracts actually do stuff? Talk to each other, work with the real world?
Good question. Leads us to another big idea, transactions.
All right, so we got accounts, smart contracts, now transactions. Is this just like Bitcoin, sending ether back and forth?
They can be for that, but Ethereum transactions, they're more versatile.
So?
Yeah, you can send ether, but also you can use them to talk to these smart contracts, make things happen, even share data.
So it's like the transaction have a message along with the money.
You got it. And that message can be anything. Simple, like buy this thing, or super complex, conditions that trigger actions in the smart contract.
This is wild. It's like the internet, but you're not just sending info. It's instructions and value. Securely, no central control.
That's the power of Ethereum. Not just a currency, but a whole platform, building a new kind of internet, where these apps can do stuff that was never possible before.
Okay, I'm hooked. Got to dive deeper. Where do we go from here?
Let's talk about that gas mechanism. Super important part of how Ethereum works, keeps it safe and efficient.
All right, gas. You said it's like paying for the computer power, but I'm still fuzzy on how it actually works.
Imagine, every action you do on Ethereum costs a tiny fee, measured in gas.
Sending ether, messing with a smart contract, even just running a bit of code.
All of it. Like paying for electricity, the more you use, the more it costs.
And this stops people abusing it.
Remember, Turing complete. Someone could write a program that runs forever, hogging all the resources.
So gas is like a defense against bad code.
You got it. If everyone has to pay for every step, then only good, efficient programs get run.
Makes sense. But how do you know the cost before you do something?
Everything on Ethereum has a set gas cost. When you send a transaction, you say how much gas you're willing to use.
Like a budget for your action.
And if you run out of gas before it's done, reverted, and you lose what you spent.
Big incentive to write good code.
For sure. That's one of the things that makes Ethereum so good. Secure and sustainable.
Okay, yeah. Gas makes more sense now. Clever way to keep things running smoothly.
Precisely. Just one of the many cool ideas Buterin came up with. We're just getting started.
Mind is already blown. And this is just the first few pages. What else is in store?
Buterin goes deep on some really fascinating technical stuff, which we'll explore next time.
Can't wait. Let's keep going.
Back again for more Ethereum deep dive action.
Ready to go further down the rabbit hole. We've covered so much, but I know there's even more.
Oh, there's plenty more. As we go, you'll see Buterin wasn't just making a better scripting language. He was rethinking how we do computing, store data, even how organizations work.
Okay, before we get totally lost in the tech, remind me, where'd we leave off?
Gas. That mechanism that keeps Ethereum safe and running smoothly. Like the economic system baked in so people write good code and don't clog up the network.
Right, gas, fueling the Ethereum engine.
Hmm.
So what's next? What other big ideas did Buterin throw in this white paper?
Next up, how Ethereum makes sure everyone agrees on stuff, keeps the blockchain solid, the consensus part.
Okay, consensus. So, like, all the computers agree on what transactions happened and what the network looks like right now.
You got it. Like with a bank, they've got one central authority keeping track of everything. Ethereum, nope, totally decentralized.
So how do you keep it from being chaos? Everyone on the same page.
Mining. Just like Bitcoin, Ethereum uses proof of work. Miners solving tough math problems to add blocks of transactions.
We talked about that before, the big puzzle contest. Winner updates the chain, gets some ether.
And that is what makes it so secure. Want to mess with the blockchain, you got to redo all the work that's been done since the block you want to change. Basically impossible.
Proof of work is like the blockchain security guard.
Good way to think about it. But Buterin knew even proof of work has issues.
Like what?
It can lead to centralization. If a few big miners control most of the computing power, they could mess with things, even block certain transactions.
Oh, not good. Any solutions for that?
He had some ideas. Use a different type of math problem so specialized mining hardware doesn't have a huge advantage.
Leveling the playing field so anyone can mine.
Yeah, and he talks about the importance of lots of full nodes. Computers that hold the whole blockchain help check that transactions are legit.
The more the merrier, right? Harder to control if it's spread out.
Exactly, like a network of watchdogs, keeping the blockchain honest.
Okay, decentralization, good. But didn't we say proof of work uses a lot of energy? Is that a problem for Ethereum too?
Valid point, and Buterin knows it. In the white paper, he talks about maybe using different ways to reach consensus, ones that use less power. But back in 2014, those were still super early ideas.
Always thinking ahead.
For sure. And actually now Ethereum uses proof of stake, which is way better for energy use.
Wow, so he was already thinking about how to make it more sustainable. But let's stick to the white paper for now. Did he say about security and consensus?
He gets into some cool concepts, like a challenge response system, so these light clients can check if blocks are good without downloading the whole blockchain.
Light clients. Remind me what those are.
Full nodes, they keep everything. Check every single transaction. Light clients, they're for devices like phones, don't have much storage. They download only a part of the blockchain.
Ethereum Lite, basically. Easier for normal people to use.
But then, how do they know the info from the full nodes is correct? That's where this challenge response thing comes in.
So how's that work?
A light client can basically say, hey, full node, prove to me this block is legit. And if the full node can't, red flag. Something's wrong.
Keeps everyone honest.
Exactly. This is really important for those light clients so more people can use Ethereum easily.
Okay, proof of work, stopping things getting too centralized, ways for light clients to stay safe. What other challenges did Buterin tackle?
Big one. Scalability.
Right, can the network keep up if more and more people use it without slowing down or getting super expensive?
That's it. And a lot of blockchains struggle with this. Bitcoin too.
So what did Buterin say about it? How do we solve this?
He throws out a few ideas, some pretty technical. One of them is like adding a snapshot of the Ethereum network after each transaction happens.
Losing me a bit. What's a snapshot and why does that help?
Remember the state of Ethereum, like a picture of all the accounts and their balances at one moment.
Vaguely. It was a techie part.
This snapshot, it's stored in a special way, and Buterin's saying, let's save a summary of that after every single transaction.
Okay. And why is that good for scaling things up?
Imagine someone's being sneaky, tries to add a bad block. Because we have these snapshots along the way, it's way easier to see exactly where things went wrong.
Like a trail of breadcrumbs. You can follow it back and see if someone messed up.
You got it. It's like a built-in debugger for the whole blockchain. Makes it way easier to check that everything's correct, even for those light clients who don't have all the data.
That's pretty smart. So even with more people using it and more light clients, it can still stay secure and efficient.
Precisely. Buterin was really thinking ahead, coming up with ways to solve these problems before they even became a big deal.
Super impressive. But we're still mostly talking about how Ethereum works under the hood. I'm ready to hear about what it can actually do. What kind of world did Buterin imagine?
That's a great question, and that's what we'll cover next. But to give you a taste, Buterin talks about Ethereum doing everything from running financial systems to organizations that govern themselves, even new ways to manage our online identities.
Okay, yeah, I definitely want to hear more about that. Let's move on to the applications of Ethereum and see what this technology can really do.
And we're back, diving deep into Ethereum.
All right, ready for the grand finale? We've covered how it works, the tough stuff, the fixes. Now what? What can Ethereum actually build?
This is where it gets really cool. Buterin spends a big chunk of the white paper talking about what this tech can do. And even he was just scratching the surface.
Lay it on me. What specific things did he say?
He starts with token systems. Basically, you can make your own digital tokens right on the Ethereum blockchain.
Tokens, okay. So beyond just Ether, the main Ethereum currency.
Yep. Remember smart contracts. You can program them to make, manage, and move all kinds of digital stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Could be anything. Virtual money, company shares, even things like loyalty points or those digital collectibles everyone's into.
So it's like a toolkit for making any kind of digital asset you can think of, with its own rules, its own way of working.
Nailed it. Opens up a ton of possibilities. Imagine, like a marketplace.
Yeah.
Totally online, decentralized. And they've got their own special tokens you use to buy and sell things.
Or like artists selling their digital art, with tokens to prove you own it. This is ringing a bell. We talking NFTs here.
Bingo! NFTs, those non-fungible tokens. That's exactly what Buterin was thinking about back in 2014. Each one unique, showing you own that digital thing. Art, game items, even virtual land.
It's wild. So much of this seemed so far out back then, and now it's just normal. What other stuff did he talk about?
He gets into fancier financial things, decentralized exchanges, even synthetic assets, even the idea of stable coins, cryptocurrencies, but designed to stay linked to, like, the US dollar.
So this could, shake up the whole financial system.
Could definitely happen. DeFi, decentralized finance, it's huge, built on Ethereum. New ways to borrow, lend, invest, all without the traditional banks and stuff.
Now we're talking revolution. What else?
Organizations. Buterin says Ethereum can change how we even think about organizations. Remember DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations.
Code running the show. Still sounds like sci-fi to me.
Mind-bending, right? But Buterin, he saw DAOs as making organizations better, more transparent, efficient, and fair for everyone involved.
Okay, so how would that actually work, a DAO?
Think a company, but all the rules, how decisions are made, it's all code in a smart contract. No CEO, no board calling the shots. Every decision, you can put it to a vote the people with tokens decide. And the smart contract just does what the vote says.
So like a company that runs itself, guided by the people in it.
That's it. This could change how we govern, not just companies. Nonprofits, maybe even whole communities could use this.
This is huge. We're talking changing how society works. Anything else? What other applications do you think of?
Decentralized identity and reputation systems.
What would that be like?
You control your online identity, not Facebook, Google, all those companies. Keep your info, your credentials, even your online reputation on the blockchain. You decide who sees it, how it gets used.
That's powerful. Any other areas where Ethereum could have a big impact?
He talks a little about decentralized file storage. We touched on that before.
Dropbox, but not Dropbox, right?
Yeah.
I love that this was such a crazy idea in 2014, but now you've got projects like IPFS and Filecoin actually doing it.
It really shows how ahead of the curve Buterin was. So many of his ideas have become real. And it makes you think, what else is possible? We're just getting started with Ethereum. Who knows what we can build with it?
Okay, I'm a believer. This isn't just about a new kind of money. It's a whole platform for new ideas, new ways of doing things, maybe even a new kind of internet.
That's a great way to put it. And remember, all this came from one white paper written almost a decade ago. Pretty amazing vision, right?
My mind is officially blown. This deep dive has been like an awakening. I get Ethereum now, not just the techie stuff, but what it could really do for the world.
Glad to hear it. This has been fun exploring this with you.
So what's next? Someone listening, they're like, okay, I'm in. How do I learn more, maybe even get involved with Ethereum?
Stay curious. Keep learning. Keep trying things out. Don't be afraid to experiment. There's a ton of stuff online. Tutorials for coders, forums to talk to other people, articles that go really deep.
Maybe someone listening right now will build the next big thing on Ethereum.
That's what we want. This tech's future is up to the people who are willing to explore it, build cool stuff with it. So go out there, make something amazing.
Great way to wrap things up. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride into Ethereum. Until next time, keep diving deep.